The emergency session of the Galactic Council erupted in chaos the moment Commander Yixtal finished her report. Delegates from 47 worlds shouted in dozens of languages as the translation system struggled to keep up with the noise. "Order! Order!" the council speaker demanded, his ancient voice cutting through the commotion. "We will discuss this matter with proper debate, not screaming." General Korith of the Draconians stood up, his massive frame towering over his chair. "This is exactly what I warned you about. These humans have been spying on us for decades. They know our secrets, our weaknesses, our private discussions. They are a threat that must be eliminated immediately." Ambassador Zeth Kara held up two of his forearms. "General, let us not rush to judgment. Commander Yixtal reports that the humans seem peaceful. They welcomed our expedition with courtesy and respect." "Courtesy?" General Korith roared. "They have been listening to our private conversations for 60 years. They built a secret fleet while pretending to be silent. They know everything about us, while we know nothing about them." Dr. Velthar spoke in his quiet voice. "General Korith raises valid concerns. The humans have shown remarkable deception capabilities. The question is whether they use this deception for defense or offense." Commander Yixtal stood to address the council. "Honored delegates, I spent 3 days on their station. I spoke with their leaders. They claim they want to join the galactic community peacefully. Their technology is advanced, but they have not used it aggressively yet," General Korith added darkly. "They have not used it aggressively yet, but they have the capability to strike any of our worlds without warning. Their cloaking technology means we would never see them coming." The ethereal collective delegate raised a glowing appendage. "What do we know about their military capabilities?" Commander Yixtal checked her notes. "They have hundreds of defense platforms around their world. Their ships use advanced propulsion and stealth systems. Their weapons technology appears to be on par with our own, possibly more advanced." "More advanced?" several delegates asked at once. "Their energy shields deflected our most powerful sensor scans," Commander Yixtal explained. "Their ships moved with precision that suggests superior navigation and control systems. And their Admiral Parker spoke of defensive preparations that could handle any threat." General Korith slammed his fist on his chair. "Enough. I propose we send a battle fleet to this Earth immediately. We will demand they surrender their cloaking technology and submit to Council oversight. If they refuse, we destroy them before they become a greater threat." "That would be a mistake," came a calm voice from the chamber's communication system. Every delegate turned to look at the main screen, which now showed Captain Jake Morrison sitting in what appeared to be a conference room on Unity 1. "How did you access our private session?" the council speaker demanded. "The same way we have accessed your communications for 63 years, Captain Morrison replied calmly. "Your security protocols have not changed much in that time." The chamber fell silent. The implications were staggering. The humans were not just listening to their communications. They were capable of breaking into secure council transmissions in real time. "This proves my point," General Korith shouted. "They are a threat to all of us." Captain Morrison looked directly at General Korith through the screen. "General, we heard your proposal to send a battle fleet to Earth. We also heard your recommendation to destroy us if we do not surrender our technology. We find this response disappointing but not surprising." "How dare you?" General Korith began. "We dare because we are prepared," Captain Morrison interrupted. "Admiral Parker, please join me." Admiral Seth Parker appeared on the screen next to Captain Morrison. "General Korith, we have studied your military records for 40 years. We know your tactics, your fleet positions, your weapon capabilities. We know the Draconian Empire maintains 12 battle fleets with a total of 300 warships. General," Korith's face turned darker. "Are you threatening the Draconian Empire?" "We are stating facts," Admiral Parker replied. "We also know that you have been planning to test our defenses regardless of our peaceful intentions. Your fleet is already moving toward our system." The chamber erupted again. Several delegates had not known about the Draconian fleet movement. Others demanded explanations from General Korith. "I sent a protective fleet to ensure Council safety," General Korith declared. "These humans could be hostile." Captain Morrison shook his head. General, your fleet of 15 warships left Draconian space 2 days ago. They are not traveling in a protective formation. They are arranged for attack. Dr. Velthar leaned forward. How do you know the exact composition and formation of our fleets? We have been monitoring all galactic military movements since we discovered your existence, Admiral Parker explained. We track every ship, every weapon, every communication. We had to know if anyone posed a threat to Earth. Commander Yixtal felt a chill. You have been watching all of us. All the time. Yes, Captain Morrison confirmed. We know about the Kalari trade disputes with the Vorthan Empire. We know about the Ethereal Collective's secret research into dimensional technology. We know about the resource conflicts in the outer systems. We know about everything. The chamber fell completely silent. Every delegate realized that their private communications, their secret plans, their hidden agendas were all known to these humans. What do you want? The council speaker finally asked. We want to join the Galactic Council as full members, Captain Morrison replied. We want to contribute to galactic peace and prosperity, but we will not be bullied or threatened. General Korath stood up again. Your demands are irrelevant. My fleet will test your defenses and determine if you are a threat to galactic security. Admiral Parker smiled. General, your fleet will reach our system in 18 hours. We will be ready for them. Ready for what? General Korath demanded. To demonstrate why Earth's silence should have been feared, Admiral Parker replied. The transmission ended, leaving the council chamber in stunned silence. General Korath turned to address the other delegates. You see? They threaten us openly. Now, when my fleet defeats their primitive defenses, we will see how dangerous they really are. But several delegates were already wondering if General Korath had made a terrible mistake. The humans had shown they knew everything about galactic military capabilities. They had demonstrated technology that surpassed council standards, and they had remained hidden and prepared for over 60 years. Commander Yixtal stood up slowly. General Korath, I respectfully suggest you recall your fleet. These humans are not what we thought they were. Coward, General Korath snarled. We will see who is truly strong when my ships reach their system. As the emergency session ended, delegates filed out in worried groups. Many were already sending messages to their home worlds, warning of the new threat that had emerged from the silent world. But a few delegates wondered if the real threat was not the humans themselves, but the test that General Korath was about to force upon them. In 18 hours, they would learn what happened when someone tried to threaten a species that had spent 60 years preparing for that exact moment. Commander Yixtal stared at the view screen as her 3 scout ships entered the outer edge of the Sol system. The yellow star blazed in the distance, much like the star of her home world, but something felt different about this system. Her sensors picked up unusual readings from the 4th planet. Navigator, what are those energy signatures coming from the red planet? She asked. The young Kalari officer checked his instruments twice before answering. Commander, the readings suggest mining operations, large-scale excavation, but the planet appears barren on visual scans. Dr. Lisa Grant, the expedition's lead scientist, looked up from her research station. She had volunteered for this mission, specifically to study the silent species. Perhaps they are extracting resources from underground. Many civilizations start with asteroid mining before moving to planetary extraction. Commander Yixtal nodded. Continue toward the 3rd planet. Maintain standard approach protocols. Keep all weapons powered down. We are here to make friends, not enemies. As the small fleet moved deeper into the system, more strange readings appeared on their sensors. The asteroid belt between the 4th and 5th planets showed signs of massive industrial activity, refined metal signatures, organized debris patterns. This was not natural asteroid formation. Commander, the sensor operator called out. I am detecting multiple artificial structures in the asteroid field. They appear to be mining platforms and processing facilities. Dr. Grant moved to the sensor station. How many structures? Difficult to count. The readings suggest hundreds of installations, perhaps thousands. Commander Yixtal felt a chill run through her blue skin. This was not the work of a primitive civilization. Building thousands of space installations required advanced technology and massive resources. These humans were far more capable than anyone in the Galactic Council had guessed. Distance to the third planet? She asked. 2 hours at current speed. Commander, reduce speed by half. I want more time to analyze what we are seeing. As they approached Earth, the planet grew larger on their screens. Blue oceans covered most of the surface. White clouds swirled in beautiful patterns. Green and brown continents showed clear signs of agriculture and cities. It looked like a perfect world. Commander, the communications officer suddenly announced, I am receiving a transmission. Everyone on the bridge turned to look at him. What kind of transmission? It appears to be mathematical sequences, basic mathematical proofs, the universal language protocols we broadcast to all new civilizations. Commander Yixtal smiled. Finally, they are trying to establish communication, open a channel, and respond. With our standard mathematical greeting. The communications officer worked at his station for several minutes. Then he looked up with confusion on his face. Commander, they are not using the mathematical sequences to establish basic communication. What do you mean? They are using them to identify our language protocols. They just transmitted a message in perfect galactic standard. Dr. Grant rushed to the communications station. That is impossible. Galactic standard takes years to learn. New civilizations need months of mathematical exchange before they can even attempt basic words. The communications officer checked his equipment again. The message is clear. They said, Welcome to Earth. Please maintain your current position while we prepare proper accommodations. Silence filled the bridge. Every crew member stared at the communications station. Commander Yixtal felt her heart's beating faster. Are you certain the translation is correct? Yes, Commander. Perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation. They speak our language better than some council members. Dr. Grant's mind raced through the implications. Commander, this means they have been listening to Galactic Council communications for years, maybe decades. They understand our language, because they have been studying us. Before Commander Yixtal could respond, another transmission came through. This time, a different voice spoke. The voice was calm, confident, and spoke with authority. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the Earth Defense Command. I apologize for the delay in responding to your approach. We wanted to ensure we could communicate properly before making contact. Commander Yixtal found her voice. Captain Morrison, this is Commander Yixtal of the Galactic Council Exploration Fleet. We are honored to make first contact with your species. The honor is ours, Commander. We have been aware of the Galactic Council for quite some time. We have been looking forward to this meeting. Dr. Grant grabbed Commander Yixtal's arm. You hear that? They have been aware of us for quite some time. They know about the Council. They know about us. Captain Morrison's voice continued. Commander, we have prepared a reception facility in orbit around our planet. If you would follow the navigation beacon we are transmitting, we will guide you to a safe docking area. Commander Yixtal looked at her crew. Every face showed the same expression of shock and worry. This was not how first contact was supposed to work. New civilizations were supposed to be surprised, confused, maybe frightened. They were not supposed to be prepared and waiting. Captain Morrison, may I ask, how long your people have been aware of galactic civilization? There was a pause before the human answered. We first detected Galactic Council transmissions approximately 63 years ago. We have been monitoring and studying your communications ever since. Dr. Grant sat down heavily in her chair. 63 years. They have been watching us. For 63 years. We felt it was prudent to understand the galactic political situation before announcing our presence. Captain Morrison explained. We wanted to be certain that contact would be beneficial for both our species and the Council. Commander Yixtal tried to keep her voice steady. And what conclusion did you reach? We believe the time is right for Earth to join the galactic community. We have much to offer and much to learn. As the Kalari ships followed the human navigation beacon toward Earth, Commander Yixtal stared at the growing planet ahead. Everything about this first contact was wrong. The humans were too prepared, too knowledgeable, too confident. Dr. Grant voiced what everyone was thinking. Commander, if they have been studying us for 63 years, what else do they know? What else have they been preparing? Commander Yixtal did not have an answer, but as Earth grew larger on her view screen, she began to understand why this world had remained silent for so long. The humans had not been hiding from the galaxy. They had been studying it. Communications. Send a priority message to Galactic Council headquarters, she ordered. Tell them that first contact with Earth is proceeding, but not as expected. Tell them these humans are not what we thought they were. As her ship approached the mysterious blue world, Commander Yixtal wondered what other surprises the humans had prepared for their visitors. Commander Yixtal watched in amazement as massive structures began appearing around Earth. What had looked like empty space moments before now revealed itself to be filled with hidden installations. Huge platforms uncloaked one by one, their surfaces gleaming with metal and energy. "Commander," her sensor operator called out with a shaking voice. "I count over 200 structures appearing on our screens. Defense platforms, shipyards, mining facilities, research stations. They were all invisible until now." Dr. Grant stared at the readings flowing across her instruments. "Cloaking technology, advanced stealth systems. These installations have been here all along. We just could not see them." 3 sleek ships approached the Kalari fleet. The human vessels moved with smooth precision, their hulls reflecting the light of the sun. They were beautiful and deadly at the same time. Commander Yixtal had seen enough warships to recognize weapon systems when she saw them. Captain Morrison's voice came through the communication system. "Commander Yixtal, these are our escort vessels. They will guide you to Unity 1, our primary orbital station. We have prepared quarters for your crew and meeting rooms for our discussions." "Captain Morrison," Commander Yixtal replied, trying to keep her voice calm. "Your cloaking technology is very impressive. How long have these installations been in place?" "Construction began 47 years ago," Captain Morrison answered. "We wanted to ensure we could defend our world and support our population before making contact with the galaxy." Dr. Grant grabbed Commander Yixtal's arm again. 47 years. They started building all of this just 16 years after they discovered us. They have been preparing for this meeting longer than some council members have been alive. The human escort ships led them toward a massive space station that slowly uncloaked as they approached. Unity 1 was enormous, easily 3 times the size of the largest galactic council station. Its rotating sections suggested artificial gravity. Docking bays could accommodate ships much larger than the Kalari Scouts. "How many people live on that station?" Commander Yixtal asked. "Unity 1 currently houses 50,000 residents," Captain Morrison replied. "Scientists, engineers, diplomats, defense personnel, and their families. We built it specifically to serve as our first contact facility." Commander Yixtal felt dizzy. 50,000 people living in space meant the humans had mastered life support systems, artificial gravity, food production, and waste management on a massive scale. This was not the work of a species just learning to leave their planet. As their ships docked with Unity 1, Commander Yixtal and Dr. Grant prepared to meet their hosts. The docking bay was spotless and well organized. Human technicians in clean uniforms directed the docking procedures with practiced efficiency. Captain Jake Morrison waited for them at the airlock. He was tall for a human, with short brown hair and intelligent eyes. His uniform was simple but well made. Behind him stood several other humans, each wearing different colored uniforms that suggested various specialties. "Commander Yixtal, Dr. Grant, welcome to Unity 1, Captain Morrison," said with a slight bow. "I am honored to be the first human you meet in person." Commander Yixtal returned the bow. "Captain Morrison, we are pleased to finally speak with your people, though I must admit, this meeting is quite different from what we expected." "Captain Na." Morrison smiled. "I imagine it is. Please let me show you around our station. I think you will find it interesting." As they walked through Unity 1's corridors, Dr. Grant studied everything around her. The technology was clearly advanced, but it used principles she recognized. Gravity generators, atmospheric processors, energy distribution systems. All of it was sophisticated, but familiar. "Captain Morrison," she said. Your technology appears to be based on principles similar to what the Galactic Council uses. How did you achieve such advancement so quickly? We had excellent teachers, Captain Morrison replied. For 63 years we have been listening to your technical broadcasts, your research reports, your engineering discussions. We learned from the best minds in the galaxy. They entered a large observation deck that offered a stunning view of Earth below. The blue and white planet turned slowly, beautiful and peaceful. But now Commander Yixtal knew that peace was protected by hidden weapons and advanced technology. This is where we monitored your communications, Captain Morrison explained, gesturing toward banks of equipment along the walls. Every transmission from every council world, every ship, every station. We recorded it all, studied it all, learned from it all. Admiral Seth Parker joined them on the observation deck. He was older than Captain Morrison, with gray hair and sharp eyes. His uniform carried more decorations, suggesting high rank and long service. Admiral Parker coordinates our defense systems, Captain Morrison explained. He has been planning for this day since we first detected your ships. Admiral Parker stepped forward and offered the traditional Kalari greeting gesture. Commander Yixtal, we have studied your species for many years. We know of your people's honor and dedication to peace. We respect the Kalari greatly. Commander Yixtal was shocked. You know our customs? Our traditions? We know the customs and traditions of all 47 council species, Admiral Parker replied. We felt it was important to understand the people we hope to meet someday. Dr. Grant looked around the observation deck at the advanced equipment and displays. You have been preparing for first contact all this time. Every system, every protocol, every piece of technology. This was all planned. Yes, Captain Morrison admitted. We are careful people, Dr. Grant. When we discovered we were not alone in the galaxy, we decided to learn everything we could before introducing ourselves. We wanted to be ready. Ready for what? Commander Yixtal asked. Admiral Parker and Captain Morrison exchanged glances. Ready for anything, Admiral Parker said. Ready for friendship, ready for trade, ready for alliance, but also ready for threats, ready for war, ready for invasion. We hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst, Captain Morrison added. That is the human way. Commander Yixtal looked out at Earth, then back at the two humans. Your people have been silent for so long. The Council assumed you were weak or afraid. Some members wanted to ignore your world completely. We know, Admiral Parker said quietly. We monitored those discussions too. We heard General Korath's opinions about silent worlds and weak species. Dr. Grant felt a chill run through her body. You heard our council debates? Our private discussions? All of them, Captain Morrison confirmed. For 63 years, we have listened to every word spoken in the council chambers. We know every member's opinions, every alliance, every conflict, every secret. The observation deck fell silent. Commander Yixtal realized the full scope of what the humans had accomplished. They had not just learned about galactic technology and customs. They had been studying galactic politics, military capabilities, and strategic weaknesses for over half a century. What do you plan to do with all this knowledge? She asked. Captain Morrison smiled. Help make the galaxy a better place. We have learned much from watching the Council. We see its strengths and its weaknesses. We think we can contribute to its success. Admiral Parker nodded. Earth wants to join the galactic community, Commander. But we want to join as equals, not as junior members learning from their elders. We bring knowledge, technology, and capabilities that can benefit everyone. Commander. Yixtal looked at Dr. Grant, who was still staring at the monitoring equipment in amazement. We need to contact the Council immediately. They need to know what we have discovered here. Of course, Captain Morrison agreed. We are ready to speak with the full Council whenever they are ready to listen. As Commander Yixtal prepared her report, she wondered how the Council would react to learning that the silent world they had dismissed contained the most prepared civilization they had ever encountered. The massive chamber buzzed with voices from 47 different worlds. Ambassador Zethkara stepped forward, his blue skin gleaming under the artificial lights of the Galactic Council headquarters. His forearms moved in practiced gestures, As he addressed the assembly of alien delegates, "Council members, I present the latest report from our Deep Space Exploration Division," Zethkara announced. His voice carried across the chamber through universal translators. "Our scout ships have discovered a new system in the Outer Rim territories." The Kalari representative, Commander Yixtal, leaned forward in her floating chair. Her large black eyes showed interest as she studied the holographic display that appeared above the chamber floor. The display showed a yellow star surrounded by several planets. "Sector 7 Alpha contains 8 planets," Zethkara continued. "The third planet sits perfectly in the habitable zone. Our long-range sensors show signs of advanced civilization, cities, technology, agriculture. Everything you would expect from a thriving world." General Korath of the Draconian Empire slammed his clawed fist on his chair's armrest. "Then why are we discussing this? Send the standard greeting and add them to our territory maps." "That is the problem, General," Zethkara replied. "We have been monitoring this system for 50 years. In all that time, we have received no communications, no signals, no responses to our greeting transmissions. The world appears populated, but it remains completely silent." A murmur ran through the chamber. Silent worlds usually meant one of two things. Either the civilization had destroyed itself, or something had destroyed it for them. Neither option was good news for the Galactic Council. Commander Yixtal's translator crackled as she spoke. "What do your detailed scans show? Are there signs of warfare, nuclear damage, plague?" "None," Zethkara answered. "The cities appear intact. We detect normal energy signatures. Agricultural areas show healthy crop rotation. Everything suggests a functioning society. They simply do not talk to anyone beyond their atmosphere." The chamber fell quiet. This was unusual. Most civilizations that reached space travel became very chatty very quickly. They wanted to trade, form alliances, or at least announce their presence to the galaxy. A completely silent advanced civilization was almost unheard of. Dr. Velthar, the ancient scientist from the Ethereal Collective, spoke in his whispering voice. "Perhaps they are afraid. Some species go through isolation periods when they first detect other civilizations. Fear makes them hide." "Cowards," General Korath growled. "Any species that hides when they discover they are not alone lacks the strength to survive. We should mark their system as a dead zone and move on." "Wait," Commander Yixtal said. "This system might hold valuable resources. The third planet shows rich mineral deposits. The outer planets have extensive gas giant mining potential. Even if the inhabitants are primitive, the system itself has worth." She paused and looked around the chamber. "Besides, our explorers found evidence of sophisticated technology, advanced power generation, orbital structures. These are not primitives hiding in caves. These are people with real capabilities who choose to stay quiet." Ambassador Zethkara nodded. "Commander Yixtal makes good points. The beings on this world call their planet Earth, according to our translation computers. They have achieved spaceflight. They have built stations around their world. They mine their asteroid belt. They are not primitive." "Then why the silence?" asked Dr. Velthar. "Unknown," Zethkara admitted. "Perhaps they have a cultural taboo against contact with other species. Perhaps their government forbids outside communication. Perhaps they are studying us just as we study them." General Korath laughed, a harsh sound that made several smaller delegates flinch. "Study us? What could such a young species possibly learn by watching the Galactic Council? We have maintained peace across the galaxy for 300 years. We have technology they cannot imagine. The idea that they could be studying us is ridiculous." Commander Yixtal disagreed. "General, underestimating unknown species has caused problems before. Remember the Hive Wars? We thought the Zephyrians were just another insect species. We nearly lost 12 systems before we realized how wrong we were." "The Zephyrians announced themselves," General Korath countered. "They declared war properly. These humans, if that is what they call themselves, just sit there, silent, like dead rocks." The debate continued for another hour. Some delegates wanted to ignore Earth completely. Others wanted to send a full military expedition to investigate. A few suggested diplomatic first contact missions. Finally, the council speaker called for order. The ancient being's voice resonated through the chamber. "We will vote. All in favor of sending a reconnaissance mission to investigate this silent world?" Hands, claws, tentacles, and various other appendages rose throughout the chamber. The count showed a clear majority in favor of investigation. "Motion approved," the council speaker announced. "Commander Yixtal, you will lead a small fleet to this Earth. Determine why they remain silent. Assess their technology level. Report back with recommendations for future contact." Commander Yixtal stood and bowed. "I accept this assignment, Council Speaker. I will take 3 scout vessels and approach with standard first contact protocols." "Be careful," Dr. Velthar warned. "Silent worlds sometimes hide dangerous secrets," General Korath snorted. What danger could a silent world pose? They cannot even work up the courage to say hello to their neighbors. As the council session ended, delegates filed out discussing the mysterious silent planet. Some were excited about potential new trade partners, others worried about unknown threats. None of them suspected the truth. Far away in the Sol system, Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of humanity's hidden command station. He watched the long-range sensors that had been tracking Galactic Council movements for decades. The alien ships were finally coming to Earth. "Admiral Parker," Jake said into his communication device. "They took the bait. The Council voted to investigate us. A small fleet is heading our way." Admiral Seth Parker's voice came back through the secure channel. "Excellent. How long until they arrive?" 6 weeks, sir. Just like we calculated." "Perfect. That gives us time to prepare the welcome party. After 50 years of watching them, it is time to introduce ourselves properly." Jake smiled as he looked out at the hidden defense platforms surrounding Earth. The Galactic Council thought Earth was silent because humans were weak or afraid. They had no idea that Earth's silence was the most dangerous thing they had ever encountered. Soon they would learn why. General Korath stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Draconian Thunder, as his fleet of 15 warships approached the edge of the Sol system. His tactical displays showed the silent human world growing larger on his screens. Soon he would prove to the galaxy that these upstart humans were no threat to the mighty Draconian Empire. "General," his sensor officer reported, "we are detecting the human defense platforms that Commander Yixtal described in her report. I count approximately 200 installations around their planet." "Only 200? General Korath laughed. "My fleet alone carries enough firepower to destroy 1,000 such platforms. These humans built impressive hiding places, but they lack real military strength." On Earth, Admiral Seth Parker watched the approaching Draconian fleet from the command. Centered deep inside Unity 1, Captain Jake Morrison stood beside him, along with a dozen other human officers. The main screen showed the positions of all 15 enemy ships. "Admiral," Captain Morrison said quietly, "General Korath's fleet has crossed into our outer defense perimeter. Should we activate the welcome protocols?" Admiral Parker nodded. "Begin Phase 1. Let them see what they came to test." Throughout the Sol system, hundreds of hidden installations began powering up their systems. What had appeared to be asteroids, space debris, and empty void suddenly revealed themselves to be weapons, platforms, sensor arrays, and defensive networks. The humans had not built 200 defense platforms around Earth. They had built 2,000. On the Draconian flagship, alarm sounds filled the bridge as sensors detected the massive network of hidden installations appearing throughout the system. "General," the sensor officer called out in panic, "I am reading over 2,000 combat platforms. They were completely invisible until now. The entire system is fortified." General Korath stared at his tactical display in disbelief. Red markers indicating hostile installations filled his screen. They were not just around Earth. They were everywhere, hidden in the asteroid belt, concealed near gas giant moons disguised as space debris throughout the system. "Impossible," he growled. "No species could build such a massive defense network without being detected." "General," his communications officer announced, "we are receiving a transmission from the humans." Captain Morrison's voice came through the speakers. "General Korath, welcome to the Sol system. You came here to test our defenses. We are prepared to accommodate your request. Human. General Korath snarled into his microphone. You may have more platforms than we expected, but 15 draconian warships are more than enough to destroy your primitive installations. We hope you will reconsider. Admiral Parker's voice joined the transmission. Our defensive capabilities may exceed your expectations. General Korath cut the transmission and turned to his weapons officer. Target the nearest defense platforms. Destroy them. Yes, General. Firing main batteries. The Draconian fleet opened fire with their most powerful weapons. Energy beams and projectiles streaked toward the human defense platforms. General Korath smiled as he watched the attack, expecting to see the platforms destroyed or damaged. Instead, the human installations absorbed the attacks with ease. Energy shields flared briefly around each platform, then returned to normal. The weapons that should have destroyed the platforms barely scratched their defenses. Report, General Korath demanded. No damage to enemy platforms, General. Their shields are deflecting our weapons completely. Increase power. Full weapons. The Draconian fleet fired again with maximum power. The space around the human platforms lit up with energy as massive weapons struck the defensive shields. Again, the human installation showed no damage. Admiral Parker's voice came through the communication system again. General Korath, your weapons are impressive, but our shields were designed to handle much greater threats. Perhaps we can discuss this peacefully. Never, General Korath roared. All ships advance. We will destroy them at close range. The Draconian fleet moved deeper into the system, heading directly toward Earth. As they advanced, more and more human platforms became visible. The tactical display showed thousands of defensive installations, all powered up and tracking the approaching enemy ships. General, his tactical officer said with a shaking voice. The humans are not targeting us with their weapons. All platforms are powered but not aimed at our ships. General Korath paused. What are they waiting for? Captain Morrison answered. Over the open channel. We are waiting for you to realize that this test is over, General. You came here to determine if we are a threat. We have shown you our defensive capabilities. Now we would like to show you something else. What? General Korath demanded. Our rescue capabilities, Admiral Parker replied. Suddenly, the Draconian fleet found themselves surrounded by human ships. Sleek vessels appeared from all directions, moving with incredible speed and precision. But these ships were not attacking. They were positioning themselves to assist. General Korath, Captain Morrison's voice continued. Our sensors indicate that your ship's shield generators are overheating from the energy output of your weapons. Your other ships show similar stress patterns. You pushed your systems too hard trying to break our defenses. The Draconian sensor officer confirmed the report. General, our shields are failing. All ships report critical system overloads. We are transmitting repair protocols to your fleet, Admiral Parker announced. Our ships are standing by to provide assistance if needed. General, Korath stared at his displays in amazement. The humans were offering to help repair the very ships that had come to attack them. Why? He asked. Because that is who we are, Captain Morrison replied. We prepare for conflict, but we prefer peace. We could have destroyed your fleet the moment you entered our system. Instead, we chose to demonstrate our capabilities and offer our friendship. Over the next 2 hours, human engineering teams worked alongside Draconian crews to repair the damaged systems. The humans shared their advanced technology freely, showing the Draconian engineers how to improve their shield generators and weapon systems. General Korath found himself standing on Unity 1 beside Captain Morrison and Admiral Parker, watching human and Draconian crew members working together through the observation windows. I do not understand, General Korath admitted. We came here to attack you. Why do you help us? Admiral Parker smiled. Because we have been watching the galaxy for 60 years, General. We have seen the wars, the conflicts, the misunderstandings. We learned that strength without wisdom leads to destruction. We chose wisdom. Your people will be valuable members of the Galactic Council, Captain Morrison added. Your military knowledge combined with our defensive technology could help protect all member worlds. 1 year later, Ambassador Jake Morrison stood before the full Galactic Council Assembly. The same chamber where delegates had once debated Whether to ignore the silent world now hosted Earth's formal induction ceremony. Honored delegates. Ambassador Morrison began. Earth accepts membership in the Galactic Council with gratitude and determination. We bring 63 years of observation, analysis, and preparation to serve the cause of galactic peace. General Korath, now wearing the insignia of the Joint Human Draconian Defense Initiative, nodded approvingly from his seat. Dr. Lisa Grant, now Director of Interspecies Cultural Exchange, had established programs on 15 different worlds to improve understanding between species. Admiral Seth Parker oversaw the new Galactic Defense Network, combining human stealth technology with Council resources to protect all member worlds from external threats. Commander Yixtal approached Ambassador Morrison after the ceremony. Your people's patience has served the galaxy well, but I must ask, what would have happened if we had been hostile when we first arrived at Earth? Ambassador Morrison smiled. Commander, Earth was silent for 60 years because we were learning. We learned about your people's honor and peaceful intentions. If we had detected hostile intent, our response would have been very different. How different? We prefer not to discuss such scenarios, Admiral Parker said, joining the conversation. But let us just say that our defensive capabilities were only the beginning of what we prepared during our years of silence. As the celebration continued around them, Commander Yixtal looked out at the gathered delegates from 48 worlds, now united under the Council banner. The humans had been right to remain silent and study before revealing themselves. Their patience and preparation had not only secured their own survival, but had strengthened the entire galactic community. Earth's silence had indeed been something to fear, not because it indicated weakness, but because it concealed the most thorough and capable defenders the galaxy had ever known.